Well, hi, parents. Thanks for your understanding with this. We had a weird day at school today, so I think this is going to be the best way to get this information out to all of you about the retreat. And then if you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me by email or a phone call or popping into the school. But let me walk you through a few things as we talk about this retreat, which actually starts 1 week from today. We're going to be going on August 31st and staying through till September 1st. So first off, there we go. We're going to figure out why bother. What's the point of a retreat? Well, we want to start our year off together on a high note with our middle schoolers by doing some team building, some worship together, and we want to be teaching them some leadership skills since they are looked to as the leaders of the school in the older grades. We also want to use this time to set the tone for the year. We want to set out what our expectations are. But most importantly for us, we want to develop our middle school students into a community. We want them to be able to relate to one another, to learn more about one another, and understand, first off, who they are in Jesus, and then what that means for their relationships with others in middle school and in other parts of their life as well. So we're doing a lot of things that are going to focus on that. So here's just kind of an overview schedule. We are going to meet at the school at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday, August 31st. And we are going to need to leave right at 9 a.m. And so we'll have instructions on what the kids to bring, where they go, all that kind of stuff, who they're driving with. We'll have that ready. We'll divvy it all out at 8:30, and then the wheels roll out at 9 o'clock. On Thursday, kids do need to bring a brown bag lunch. Now, what we experienced last year is a lot of kids ate their lunch on the way to camp and then didn't have any food when they were at camp for lunch. So if the students want to bring a snack for the car or something like that, please make sure that they pack a lot. Now, we are going to have snacks on Thursday afternoon available for the students, but our first meal at the camp is going to be dinner on Thursday the 31st. Later on, I'm going to be emailing, in fact, it might be attached to this email, I'm going to email out a parent retreat guide with a things to bring list, what is the schedule, and some other information for you to digest as well. So make sure that you have a chance to review that. Now, on Friday, September 1st, we're going to be leaving Pioneer at noon, and our goal is to be back to Bethany by 3 p.m. Now, there is some construction up by Erie, Pennsylvania. They were down to one way last I drove it, so we may be a little later than 3 p.m., but we will be communicating that with you, and I'm going to tell you how we'll do that shortly. In fact, here it is. We use the Remind app at Bethany for a lot of different things. I've set up a Remind class just for the retreat. And to join the retreat class, text this at MSPOTL23 to the number 81010. Text anytime, and then if you have questions while we're on the retreat, you can actually text to that class, and it will come just directly to me. Not everybody will see it, but when I do announcements to the whole group, if you've joined that class, you will get those as well, including estimated time of return on Friday, September 1st. So let's talk a little bit about where the kids are going to be staying. There are these lovely cabins that the camp has. There's 8 of them in a circle format. We're going to have 3 of them for the girls, a 6th grade girl cabin, 7th grade girl cabin, 8th grade girl cabin, and similarly for the boys, a 6th grade boy, 7th grade boy, 8th grade boy cabin. They're going to be across from one another, so there's a lot of space, as you can see in this photo. We'll do some wide group games and activities in the grassy area here, but the cabins the kids are going to be sleeping in are there. And this is the inside of the cabin. They have these kind of common spaces in the front of them, and then there's going to be 2 rooms off of one side, as you can see in the middle picture, and 2 rooms off the other side. Each room sleeps 4 kids. The picture on the right shows you the bunk bed scenario that we have. So it encourages students to bring sleeping bags, pillows. That's going to be in the things to bring list. We'll spend a little time doing some activities in the main space, but then when it's time for bed, the kids will go to their assigned bedrooms and then have a great night's sleep, I'm sure. So as far as food and meals go, the picture you're seeing here is the dining hall. It's actually right out over the lake. It's gorgeous. All of the snacks and the meals are provided, but like I said, except for lunch on Thursday. Talking about the food's going to be cooked by the camp staff, served buffet style. They meet all of the New York State health regulations when it comes to meals and cooking. And typical meals, I don't have the exact menu yet, but typically the meals will be things like tacos or spaghetti for a dinner, bacon and eggs for breakfast, and some sort of sandwich thing for lunch. The food last year was fantastic. I think they're going to do another great job. Snacks are good for Thursday afternoon. I'm also going to be providing snacks Thursday evening. I'm going to kind of keep that a surprise for the kids. And then Friday morning. But outside of maybe sending something for the road on the way up, please don't send any snacks with your kids. There's a lot of reasons for that, but we're going to make sure that they are well fed. I promise you that. If your child has any food allergies or they need anything special, please make sure that I'm aware of that well before the trip. I want to make sure that we're taking care of all of the kids. Now, for parents to volunteer, first off, we encourage this. I would love to have parents come because as much as we are going to ask you to help with the odd thing, this is a retreat for you as well. I'm going to show you some parent lodging in a little bit, but we would encourage you to come if you're able. Now, not just to drive. I mean, I would definitely use parent drivers. I've got a lot already, but if you really want to come, let me know. But also just so that you can be in fellowship with other parents. We're going to have parent sessions that are going to align with what the kids are talking about, but they're going to be led by Pastor Vogel. Some Bible study materials for parents. It's going to be really a great time for learning for you, but also rest and relaxation. You'll have off time where you can enjoy a walk on the beach, watch the sunset from the deck. It's a beautiful, beautiful setting that I think you'd enjoy. But in order to volunteer, you do need to complete a background check, ideally no later than tomorrow, and just go to the website that I've listed there, bethanyparmerschool.org/volunteer. As I mentioned, parents would be asked to help with certain parts of the retreat, but once we get there, I will be doing a full parent orientation to let you know what we need. For our parents who are driving, we're going to be asking them, please feel free to make a stop on the way to Pioneer. I get it, it's a 3-hour drive. Students might need a restroom, but we're asking that parents do not buy treats for the kids. There's equity issues with that about which kid gets what treats, all that kind of stuff. But we also want to make sure that we're honoring the allergies and any food sensitivities. So parents are not to buy treats for the kids along the way. If you are driving, some of you have signed up to be parent volunteer drivers. We need to have your driver's license on file with the office. So if you can copy the front and the back and send that to Stacy, that would be great. She's smontague@bethanyparma.com. We also need a copy of your vehicle's insurance. And so if you could submit that with the driver's license, that would be great. And then you certainly can submit gas receipts for reimbursement to the main office. So we'll take care of paying for your gas for the trip over and back. For parents, we do need, if you're coming on the retreat, you need to bring along sheets or a sleeping bag. They do have comforters in the cabins, and let me show you the cabins you're going to be staying in. The parent lodging is really quite nice. I mean, you think camp. I mean, this is glamping, not camping. You'll have your own cabin with, you can see the beds that are in there. Some have couches or dressers. Some are private cabins. They're beautiful. So you will be very comfortable in these cabins. As far as medical needs go, if your child has any medication they need to bring on the trip, please bring it to school on Thursday morning in its original packaging with the dosage information. That's really important. And Mrs. Egelmeyer is going to be in charge of all that medication. So she'll collect it and she'll make sure that it's administered on the trip. Our staff are first aid and CPR certified, and so we are able to help out with certain medical needs that may arise. But as far as any kind of prescriptions or medication, this is how we're going to handle that. If there's medical emergencies, we will directly contact you. I have all of the kids' registration forms with me when we go on the trip, so we'll just be calling the numbers that you have listed on your forms. So the cost of the camp, this slide I'm excited to share with you. The overall camp cost is $100, but I'm going to click one more time because right there, we had it covered this year. Camp is totally covered. There is no cost whatsoever to the kids, and there is no cost whatsoever to the parents. Camp this year for the middle school retreat is free. I'm so excited to share that with you. I'm hoping that helps everybody out a little bit, but they're going to have a great time at no cost to the parents. So things to bring or not to bring, I do want to highlight this, although the list is coming out, but they need to bring sleeping bags, pillows, a change of clothes or two. There is one activity where we might get wet, and it's not going in the lake. We are not swimming in Lake Erie. We're going to go on a beach walk one morning, but we are not going into the water beyond maybe dipping our feet in the shore. That's it. But there's one activity where they may or may not get wet, so just have them be aware of that. Comfortable shoes. They do a lot of walking at camp, then obviously bringing toiletry items, water bottles, a light jacket. Looking at the long range forecast, I think the high for Thursday was showing up at about 70, and then the high for Friday was showing up to be about 80. So it's not going to be super warm, but it's also not going to be raining, according to weather.com. Students are not permitted to bring electronics, including cell phones, on the trip. No weapons, no food, snacks, swimwear, all that kind of stuff. And again, that's outlined for you. I do expect that the school rules are fully in effect on the trip. So my behavioral expectations are that the students are going to abide by them. If for some reason a student does not abide by those rules, in the worst case, I may need to call a parent or guardian, ask them to come and drive out to Angola at their own expense and pick up their kid. I've been doing trips like this for years and years, and I've never once had to send a kid home. I know our middle schoolers, I doubt this is going to be the year either, but I do want to let you know that that would be the case in the worst case scenario. Outside of that, I was going to do a Q&A session. We're not face-to-face right now, but if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, like I said, email me, msheeman@bethanyparma.com. Reach out any other way, and I will do my best to answer those questions. This is going to be a great time. I know the kids last year had a wonderful camp experience, and we're drawing it up to repeat another wonderful camp experience. There's some new stuff from last year than what the kids saw and did, and then some of it they're going to have the things that happened last year that'll happen again that they absolutely loved. So thank you for the opportunity to be going on this trip with the kids. I think it's going to be a great team builder, but most importantly, we're going to grow together as God's children in this place. Thanks again for watching. Feel free to rewind if you have any questions and listen to a section over. But in the meantime, we will talk to you later. God bless.